Hi, Chase Ames with the Ames Team Realty here in Southern Utah, giving you the real estate market update for the month of November. Now let's jump straight into it. As typical, we have to go over last month's numbers to know what's really going on. So for active listings, there's 1,671 homes on the market right now compared to 933 this time last year. That's up 79%. Now for Washington County specifically, there's 1,400 homes on market compared to about 665 this time last year, so up about double. Now, what's really interesting is compared to the market peak earlier this year in February, March, April, there are a little over 200 homes for sale. Compared to that 1,400 right now, it's up about 6x, about 6 times the amount of homes for sale. Now, for sold listings, last month there were 268 homes that sold here in Washington County, compared to 450 this same month the year prior, so down about 40%. Now, if you want to look at the pending listings, pending is homes that have gone under contract recently. There were 311 that went under contract compared to 506 the same time last year, so down about 38%. Average interest rates, they've gone up quite a bit. So the nationwide average right now is about 7.5%. And for every 1% that an interest rate goes up, it affects a buyer's purchasing power by about 10%. So because rates have gone up, we'll say about 3.5% over the last 12 months, what that does is that means that it reduced a buyer's purchasing power by approximately 35%, if that makes sense. Now, what's pretty interesting about what's going on is it's still more of an affordability issue than a demand issue, because there is still a lot of demand. It's just more so the problem or the slowdown is because of the affordability. Now, one big shift that's going on in the market right now isn't just only because of the affordability issue because of interest rates, but that is a portion of it. So the reason why our inventory has risen so far is not just because of rates. It's because there are more homes coming on market right now than really ever prior, and there are some buyers that have had to slow off or hold off on their purchase because of interest rates. So it's both a increase in supply and a slight decrease in demand, not just one or the other. Now, the absorption rate, that's really the amount of homes that are for sale right now, how fast they're selling if nothing were to come up for sale. So the absorption rate right now is about 3.8 month supply, which is starting to lean towards a buyer's market. Now, the average sales price did drop $15,000 compared to the month prior, and the average days on market is 44, whereas the median days on market is still about 30. So that's still about the same. So we are starting to see a bit of a level off in the market. There's a lot of changes that we would see weekly and especially monthly over the last several months, but things have, for the most part, kind of plateaued and got a much more stagnant each month. Now, what's something interesting is if you are selling your home, there are some things you want to consider, especially if being a buyer too. So this doesn't apply to every property or every loan, but it does apply to some, particularly those with FHA loans or VA loans. If you're buying a home or selling a home that has currently a VA or an FHA loan, you may possibly be able to actually assume and take over that loan instead of having to go with the current interest rates. So current interest rates at 7.5%, let's say that FHA home has a loan of 3.5%, you may be able to assume that loan. Now, another example is, let's say the purchase price is going to be $400,000 and the loan amount is $300,000. What you're gonna have to do as a buyer is cover the difference of what the home is worth versus the loan, so that $100,000 difference, plus be able to afford closing costs. At that point, you may, depending on the investor who owns that loan, be able to assume that and take it over at a much lower rate compared to what you'd be paying right now. So it's something to consider. I hope this is helpful for you guys. If any questions, of course, call the Ames team here in Southern Utah. We're the #1 team and we'd love to help answer any questions that you may have. Call us at 435-674-6011.